How's it going, everybody? Let's go ahead and go through a prep and continue on with this look of the rising day being 9/27, relating to the Bible verse. Wednesday, that happens to be her birthday, Jenna Ortega. Her birthday is the rising day, and the event that would 2 days before, which is what the rising day is all about, is on a Wednesday. And then her birthday this year is on a Friday. But Jenna Ortega, the star of Wednesday, the day of the event, if it's 9/25 or September 25th, her birthday is on the rising day, 9/27. Fascinating, isn't it? I was also looking at September 7th. And this is when we started saying, let's just start looking at 9/27. I just got off the September 7th, and there was a hardcore horror video game called September 7th. Obviously, he could go down on September. He can go down any day. So, in their fake staged event. I say fake because it's the twin or the clone of the body double that gets the hit. But if we run it to 9/27 from when they went 88 miles per hour on 10/26/1985, you have your 216 coded right in there. 14,216 days, or 146 times 6 times 6, or 14666. It's 38 years, 11 months, 1 day. And that's gigantic. Let me load this Bible study. I'll be right back with you. Glad you're here. It's interesting. The Bible study, the video, the Zoom number begins with 138, which is Donald Trump in simple gematria. It also has a 718 in it, which is when the Dark Knight was released, which represents the deadly wound. And then it's also got a 187 in it in the video Zoom number. And the length of the video, October 8th, when No Time to Die came out. And we're going to get into No Time to Die and the King's Man and all that kind of stuff today. I think we already got into No Time to Die in previous videos. So, but yeah, let me load this Bible study and I'll be right back with y'all. It's Trey Stokes Daily Bible Studies channel. All right, let's continue on. May 26, 1967 was Sergeant Pepper's. It is. Oh, I was supposed to put that. I was supposed to make a correction there. Heath Ledger birthday also. The whole rising on 9/27 theory, it's opposite 3/27. We did that in a video. We covered that. The movie 88 Minutes was released on 4/18/2008. It is 6,006 days. It's 144 in the minutes to the rising day of 9/27. 144 number for the church. 66 is the book of Revelation, which is all about the 144. So that's like a really big time direct smash hit. I mean, big time. The games after 9/27 in the NFL are Steelers, Colts. Remember, Steelers are the Dark Knight Rises team. Colts represented by the White Horse, and Broncos represented by the White Horse, playing the Jets is what hit Twin Trumps. What's also very interesting is that we know about the Heidi game, the Heidi Bowl, on 11/17, Zechariah 11/17, the deadly wound Bible verse. And Raiders have the right eye utterly darkened logo. They play the Jets, which is what hit the Twin Trumps and killed Donnie Darko. And the Raiders play the Jets on 11/17, 1968, that fateful year, which is also an election year, also a leap year. It was called the Heidi game. And we saw Heidi 2 on Groundhog Day's movie marquee, and there was no Heidi 2. So we know what they were saying was the next 9/11. And What a coincidence that the Jets and Raiders both had their first games ever played, both on 9/11, both on September 11th, 1960. What in the world are the chances of that? 1960, September 11th, was on a Sunday when both teams did that. If you run it, it is 23390 days. Nothing really sticks out, but absolutely fascinating that they both had their games on 9/11. Upcoming rallies, big will be August 29th and August 30th. It'll be in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. What did I do? Did I lose my email? Hang on. Yeah, I guess I just clicked it off. Next item. As soon as the email wakes up, won't waste your time. Hang on. It's like the AI is messing with us a little bit, or what we would call internet issues. So October 2nd, 1988, that fateful day from Donnie Darko's movie. Don't forget, October 2nd comes to Donald Trump in simple gematria. Did we forget that? Key in October 2nd. And there's your 138 in ordinal, which is the same as Donald Trump in ordinal or simple gematria, English ordinal. What in the world are the chances of that? So that's why Donnie Darko was all about October 2nd, 1988. When you run that date of October 2nd, 1988, to our potential rising day of 927, per the Daniel 927, the most important or the climactic Bible verse of the Antichrist and all the word of God, the abomination of desolation. Jesus speaks about it in Matthew 7. He says, therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, where? Daniel 9:27. Excuse me. So October 2nd, 1988 to our 927 date, 13,144 days. 144, again, the number for the church, the end times church in the book of Revelation. Look at the weeks, 1877 weeks and 5 days. So you've got 187, you've got the church, you got it all right there. One-stop shopping. Fascinating. So We Seek and We Find just got through doing, I think it was We Seek and We Find. They just got through doing a video on how they were all singing the Kokomo song. Aruba, Jamaica. Ooh, I wanna. Yeah. So it was the Beach Boys, first concert I ever saw. And they started singing it in this kind of apocalyptic type movie. And so I ran the Kokomo song since they gave it to us. It was released July 8th, 1988. If you run it to our 86ing day of 925, you got 322 right in the middle of it. It's 13,228 days, 13228. 188.9 in the weeks. So thank you, We Seek and We Find, for dropping that on us. We'll take all the excuse me, all the hints we can get. Jets Raiders first game, both 9/11, 1960. Impossible. Yeah. So completed that. So only got a few other things to go over with y'all. And that is The King's Man, which had the same ending as No Time to Die. When you run its date of 12/22. Now, again, it had the exact same ending as No Time to Die with the exact same actor, exact same amount of people in the room, exact same amount of genders in the room, maybe also the exact same amount of races in the room. I believe it was 5 people, 1 lady, 1 African American in The King's Man. Can't remember. But they were toasting whiskey to the fallen hero. And in The King's Man, the fallen hero was in a big portrait in the background, and they were beginning their new Kingsman Secret Service, which of course is, the knockoff of 007. So believe it or not, the premiere date of this The King's Man to our 86ing day of 9/25. Look at the days. 1008, which was the release date of No Time to Die, October 8th. What are the chances of that? I want you to look at the weeks. 144 weeks for the church. That's The King's Man premiere date. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place here. That was the release date of The King's Man in the United States, December 22nd, 2021. December 22nd, 2021. So the United States release date, it's a perfect October 8th. If you've seen The King's Man, not to be confused with The Kingsman Golden Circle or any of that. We've shown you this many times. The ending of The King's Man. And there's their toasting the whiskey, toasting the bourbon, toasting the scotch, whatever it was. And it's the same actor who's M in No Time to Die. And there's the African-American gentleman. So it's 6 in all, it looks like. 1 female. Yeah, and the African-American lady was the female in the room at the end of No Time to Die. So, and then there's the whiskey, and they toast. The ending of No Time to Die. The ending of No Time to Die. So the AI is messing with us, of course. The ending of No Time to Die. And there's the whiskey again to James with the exact same lead actor doing the toasting or running, So there's 2 ladies, both African-American ladies, but it's the same lead actor. It's the same actor of The King's Man doing the toasting with their whiskey. There's the whiskey glass. 5 people in the room. The other one started with 5 and then changed to 6. 2 ladies in the other. 2 ladies here, 1 lady in the other. So it's basically the same exact set. There's the light representing Lucifer, the light, so on and so forth. So No Time to Die in The King's Man had the exact same ending. The release date of the Americana, The King's Man, to the 86ing day of 925 ends up being 1008 days, which is the exact date of No Time to Die's release. It only had one release, October 8th. 88. October represented the 8th month at one time. Octagon, octopus, October. September, October, November, December, all were 7, 8, 9, 10. December, decade, decameter. November was the 9th. September was once the 7th month. That's what 7, 11, 9, 11, 11, 7. Rising was all about. 9, 11 was all about the rising of the Antichrist. Revelation 11, 7. Most countries write the date backwards, so 11, 7. What rose up? One World Trade Tower. Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. One World Trade Tower represented the return of the king or the rising of the Antichrist. So that's a crazy match that they did. It's either to entertain us because we have the wrong date once again, but the fallen angels can see the future. We're the only channel that matters because we're the only ones that tell the truth in God's word and look at it in the proper codes. So they like to toy with us with these breadcrumbs. That's why I use personal ciphers of events in my life, people in my life, and lean on those way more than I do their world. So in London, there was a release date of December 5th. We might as well run that also to these dates and see what, by the way, it was 007 on the London release date. To the rising day, I think it was 1007 days. So you had your 1007. So this premiere date, well, it's a palindrome, isn't it? It's 2 years, 9 months, 20 days, or 292 palindrome. But nothing, it's 1025 in the days. If you include both dates, it does turn into 1026, which is the big car tag on the James Bond of the wrecked vehicle. It's also when Donnie Darko was released on 1026. It's also when Skyfall was released on 1026, and one of the premiere dates or release dates of, I believe it was Spectre. So 1026 or 126 code is really big in their world, which is also December 6th, which we'll be getting to later. If we make it that far, or if I make it that far. But yeah, Wednesday, Jenna Ortega to the rising day. She is a perfect 22 years old. 148 weeks old. 148, of course, is Donald J. Trump and Simple Gematria. 8036 days old, which is what 22 years always comes to. And Groundhog Day 2009. 2 times 2 times 2, 2009 is that 8036. If y'all know about that Groundhog Day of 2009, then you know. Have not run Groundhog Day yet, so we can close with that. Groundhog Day film. One of the big movies for the Antichrist and his death and his rising. Yep, I had the right date. I just wanted to make sure. So I had 2 release dates. They had a premiere on February 4th and then the big on February 12th, 1993. And February 12th. And closing out today, looking at Groundhog Day, 31/7/21, 11556. $11.55.8, 11.55, 31/7/15. Really and truly, oh well, it is 397 in the months. You do have your 79 murder code, but that's it. Nothing else really jumps out. And was there any more? Friends. Friends is a big deal because of the that was all about that movie called what was it called? It was called The End of the World. What was it called? Uh Julia Roberts' End of the World movie. Leave the World Behind. So it was all about the AI taking over cars. It was the end of the world. And Friends was how the movie ended. The little girl was all about Friends. She wanted to watch a Friends episode. So Friends released on September 22nd, 94, ended May 6, 2004. So we have to run both those dates. And it's 30 years, 3 days. You have a perfect 33 code there for the 86ing day. And at the end of Friends to the 86ing day, you do have a palindrome of 7447. Seven's the number for cleansing, so it's like pillars on each side of the 44. 44 represents the book of Revelation of its 404 verses. So anyway, interesting. All right, love y'all.